Dr. Tianna Conte is a unique blend of mystic and scientist. Her child mystical roots led to a career that has spanned over 35 years as a trained naturopath, ordained interfaith minister, and initiated shaman specializing in enlightened self-care and personal evolution. Her passion is in integrating ancient healing wisdom and cutting-edge technologies in energy medicine. She's director of Infinite Possibilities Productions and international best-selling author of 5 books on transformation: Love's Fire Trilogy, The Change Insights into Self-Empowerment, and The Voyage to Your Vision. She is the producer and co-star in Awaken Your Riches, a documentary inspired by Think and Grow Rich. Tianna empowers people to access their unique guidance and solutions through her trailblazing system known as GPS Code. Well, that's quite a biography, Tianna, and I am delighted that you are with us today. How are you doing?
I'm honored to be with you, and I'm doing great. And as we said, we both braved the wild weather to be here.
Well, I'm going to talk to you about what you call NDE, a near-death experience. And I don't know if many people know they go through this or what, but you call it a wake-up call. So what happened that forever changed your perception of life?
Oh, yeah, I tell you, if anybody had told me this, it would be reading like something out of a fiction tale. I was blessed. It wasn't through an accident or through, illness. When people have near-death experience, they're literally at death's door because their bodies are at death's door. I was at you might say, a spa in Upper West Side Manhattan having a body wrap, but it wasn't your average body wrap. It was 18 rolls of ACE bandages around the body, and then a vinyl suit, 6 blankets, and a blindfold. They forgot about me.
Oh, my
So,
God.
yeah. So even though I was extremely, I was de-stressing. So now I say, well, death is the ultimate de-stressor. But putting humor aside, what happened was my heart went into a very strong arrhythmia and then heart failure. And I had the most incredible experience of my life, where so many things that I, even trained as I was as a doctor and a shaman and a therapist, I started seeing how we don't get the whole picture. And I've been saying that after the near-death experience, everyone's life is like a giant puzzle box. And guess what? We have all of the pieces. We just don't have the cover box. And that for me was life changing, in that the events that are going to happen, but how we perceive and embrace it makes all the difference into the experiences of our life's journey. So if I can,
So,
Gail, there's just a little tidbit that might help people understand. I was asked, as people may have heard in near-death experiences, did I want to experience a life review? Now, of course I said yes, but it wasn't a life review just of all my events. They categorized it under 2 different categories. One was the life review of agony, and that wasn't just agony, it was anything that caused pain. And I got to see that the reactions were mine, the belief systems were mine, the thoughts, everything. However, if I just allowed it to pass through, have my feelings, but pass through, there was a gift in every upheaval. And then for ecstasy, it was the exact opposite. It's such a life vibration that we often forget it. So in that, they had me use the senses, anchor it down so you can relate to it. So it was
wow.
just,
Well,
yeah.
how did they find you? I mean, when did they must have discovered you just in time.
Well, what was interesting is I think there was I call a near-death experience a sneak peek into our soul's blueprint, because that's what I feel I received. Because before they even realized that they had forgotten about me, I had already come back. It's like the experience had been the experience, and then somehow I came back, and in all these layers. It felt like all the layers of conditioning. But I remembered one thing: we're free. We're beings of light. We're vibratory beings. And all of a sudden, don't ask me how, but before they even found me, I was back and I was removing my, those ace bandages. But I was so expanded, so full of love that even the obvious, you forgot about me, and the fear and the anger that would come wasn't even there. I didn't even know it had been a near death experience. It wasn't until years later that Raymond Moody, the doctor who actually coined the word and talked about life after death, we were having dinner and he said, Tianna, that wasn't a near death like experience. You had all of the signs of a near death experience, every one of them. And I was like,
wow, I thought it was bad when I got locked in a doctor's office. They forgot about me, and so, and if it wasn't for the cleaning crew, I could never have gotten out of there that night. But what you had was really amazing. Now, you are talking now. We're in the first quarter of this year. What kind of secrets or shortcuts can you share on how to create a dream list or jumpstart what they want to do this year?
well, this is beautiful. Forget the resolutions. If everybody out there listens,
Yeah, I don't
resolutions.
believe in resolutions either, Tianna, so we're on the same wavelength there. Go ahead.
Yay! Well, here now, again, referencing back to that near death experience and all that I experienced of who we really are as these magnificent, powerful beings, our conscious mind limits us. And when you do a resolution, it's the conscious mind with its subsequent belief structure that outpictures it. That doesn't work. The exact opposite is what works. Go feel into your heart. The frequency of the heart is greater than the brain. And that's the gateway to the soul. And when you feel into your heart, what is it that I want? It's not a to do list, it's a to being list. It's yes, I want this, I deserve it and desire it and call it to me. So I tell people look at your past year, give thanks to release the old year, and see what of the old year things you want to enhance, expand upon, put them in your dream list for this year. And then just go into your heart and see what will really bring you joy, what will really bring you peace, all the qualities that is our natural state of being. That's the secret. Not what the head wants or thinks it wants or it should want or society tells you need to have, but what feels real. And then just one baby step. That's all. Take one baby step and
Wow.
see what happens next.
Well, now you mentioned before about your concept that you have of the soul's blueprint. What is that? I mean, the soul is a very powerful word. So, what is the soul's blueprint?
Well, I didn't even have a clue about anything like this before that experience. But in that experience, I realized that we're so much more than just a body, and we're so much more than just a mind. And just like there's blueprints that people create when they're building a house, this is my house. Well, this body is our home. And we come in with, what can I say, a design plan, for lack of a better word, of our wiring or how we're meant to be, who we're meant to be, how we could be the best versions of ourselves, so that the soul, which is our true essence and nature, and our personality match up, align with each other. I used to say I was a spa shaman because spa for me meant soul personality alignment. And your soul is that part of you that laughs, that loves, that is at peace, and that can navigate things in ways you can't even imagine if you just let go into that trust of the unknown. And therein lies the challenge.
Wow. Well, now, what about the GPS code that you were talking about. What is that?
Well, this is interesting. Again, after this experience, I was told back in 1995 that this work and what I experienced was to be passed on. Now you're going to get a kick out of this, Gail. I promptly started to study the near death and how to create that experience for people. And my then fiance looked at me and says, "Honey, I'll support you in anything, but no, you're not going to be giving people an experience in the near death." And I'm like, "Why not? They'll come out different. They'll realize a new way of being, a new way of living." He says, "One word, liability." I'm like, "Oh." Never did I realize, Gail, that what I was hearing was the benefits of the near death experience is what I was to pass on, not the experience itself. And so the GPS code kind of evolved, you might say, between the worlds, between that experience that I had in 1995, and then when my husband passed away, the portals between the dimensions have remained open for us. And he came to me one day before he passed away and said, "You know, uh, I found the secret of the universe, the cosmic joke that I've been seeking." And I said, "What is it? What is it?" He says, "Picture a stretch limousine and you think you're the driver, but you're really in the back seat. Put your feet up, let the driver drive, and enjoy the ride." Well, he was laughing, laughing, laughing. And I'm like, "Okay, I didn't really get it." I mean, do you get what he was talking about, Gail, when I just give you that one little vignette?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I wasn't at all. Now he
But
passes
it meant
away.
to you. It meant something to you later on, right?
Exactly. I'm telling it because that became the rudiments of the GPS system. And notice
Wow.
GPS like a car, this is like the GPS for your soul. It's simple steps, real simple steps that are almost deceptively simple, but they're a system that followed together will have that soul, God nature, higher self, whatever you want to call or one calls higher power, being the driving force in one's life so that the personality can enjoy the ride. When you hit those bumps and bruises and whatever, if there's a guiding force, you move through them a lot easier. And so,
Well, it's interesting because when my husband passed away, I still hear him. It was 8 years ago, and I still hear him uh, doing certain things. In other words, when I do certain things, I just know exactly what his comment would be to me. And then I laugh hysterically because I just hear him saying it. And one of the things, for example, is when I stop to make a turn, and there's cars coming the other way, but there's still enough time to make the turn. And he'll always say, he always said to me, "What are you waiting for, an invitation?" And every time I'm at my left-hand turn and I'm not turning, I'm always hearing, "What are you waiting for, an invitation?" And it's so true, that the messages that we're given during our life with someone come back and we hear them in all kinds of different ways. But you also talk about 5 gears. Now, I don't know what they are, 5 gears, and how they can benefit the quality of life so they can navigate their own code. What are those gears?
okay, this is the fun part because, as I said, I wish, even though I had the near death experience and I had that message from William, it's only recently that they became so clear. And here they are, they're deceptively simple. The first is have a conversation with that part of higher power that one relates to. It's not about religion, it's whichever higher power, whichever spiritual source. Then be honest with what the problem is. Don't offer the solution. So you just set the current location. Then the first step is express the pain. So much in society today, we're taught to either, transcend it or take medication for it. But pain is pain. And see, this links back to the near death experience. I heard experience the pain, go through it, get your would haves, could haves, and should haves up. You just get it up because it's in the cells.